In mid-April, Russia's State Duma, the country's lower chamber of parliament, passed a series of bills making it nearly impossible for men who remain in the country to dodge military service. The legislation, once signed into law by President Putin, will mandate that draft notices be delivered electronically through a government online public services portal. Some human rights experts say the new rules are a violation of the Russian constitution. Sergei Krivenko heads the Moscow-based group Citizen Army Law.
These changes basically create a registry of all men registered for military service, and multiple government services add information about eligible men into that registry and send to military commissariats. And that violates the Personal Data Constitution article, since no one can collect people's personal data without the citizens' consent.
Since Russian authorities announced a countrywide mobilization in late September 2022, as many as 300,000 men have been drafted to fight in Ukraine, according to Kremlin figures. Meanwhile, Forbes Russia says as many as 700,000 might have left Russia to avoid the draft. Isabella Tabarovsky is a senior advisor with the Wilson Center in Washington.
People don't want to fight, and I think they don't want to lose their lives in a war that they probably don't even understand or know much about.
Once the new law goes into effect, those men fit for military service will be barred from leaving the country until they report to a local military commissariat. Failure to show up within 20 days would result in penalties ranging from suspended driver's licenses to being banned from getting bank loans or selling or buying real estate. In an official statement, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said the draft system changes are simply an attempt to modernize an outdated system.
When the special military operation began, you and I saw that in some places we had a real mess in the military recruitment offices. That's exactly the purpose of this legislative initiative, to clear up this mess and make it modern, effective, and convenient for citizens.
Human rights defenders like Krivenko dispute that assertion.
This is blatant lies. If they wanted to modernize the conscription system, and there's been talk about that for at least 20 years, since the 90s, when the government started digitizing document processing, they could have done it during peaceful times.
The impetus to avoid the draft has likely risen as Russian casualties mount. Analysts at the Washington-based Center for Strategic and International Studies estimate at least 200,000 Russian troops have been wounded or killed in Ukraine since the invasion began. Anna Rice, VOA News, Washington.